Good morning everyone. This is class 12 subject chemistry chapter 6 p block elements. So first we will discuss periodic table and then we will start with the chemistry of group 15 elements. So this is our periodic table. On left hand side we have S block elements, in middle we have D block elements, and on right hand side we have P block elements. Now Group 1 and Group 2 are known as S block elements, and in P block elements we have 6 group 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 and 18. P block elements, so 6 groups include P block elements, and the general electronic configuration for P block elements is ns2np126. For example, if we want to write down the electronic configuration for group 13, so the outermost electronic configuration for group 13 is ns2np1. Similarly, for group 14 it is ns2np2, and for group 15 it is ns2np3. For group 16 it is ns2np4, and for group 18 it is ns2np6. Now group 13 and group 14 we have already discussed in class 11th. Now we will start with our group 15 elements: nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, antimony, bismuth. These are the elements in group 15. So let's start with the chemistry of group 15 elements. Group 15 elements contain nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, antimony, bismuth. Now in group 15, nitrogen and phosphorus are non-metal, arsenic and antimony are metalloids, and bismuth is a typical metal. The atomic number for nitrogen is 7, for phosphorus it is 15, for arsenic it is 33, for antimony it is 51, and the atomic number for bismuth is 83. Now the electronic configuration for group 15 element is ns2np3. The outer electronic configuration is ns2np3. So if we want to write down the electronic configuration for nitrogen, then it will be what? Helium 2s2 2p3. Electronic configuration for helium is 1s2. So the electronic configuration for atomic number 7 is 1s2 2s2 2p3. Similarly, we can write down the electronic configuration for phosphorus. The atomic number is 15 and the electronic configuration is neon, which is a noble gas. The electronic configuration is 1s2 2s2 2p6, and the outer electronic configuration is 3s2 3p3. So in this way we can write down the electronic configuration for all the elements. For nitrogen, the outermost electronic configuration is 2s2 2p3. For phosphorus it is 3s2 3p3. For arsenic it is 4s2 4p3. For antimony it is 5s2 5p3, and for bismuth it is 6s2 6p3. Now next is occurrence of group 15 elements. So if we talk about nitrogen, so molecular nitrogen comprises 78% by volume of the atmosphere, and in earth crust it occurs as sodium nitrate, which is also known as Chile saltpeter, and potassium nitrate. That is, in earth crust the nitrogen, it occurs in the form of sodium nitrate and potassium nitrate. Now if we will talk about phosphorus, then phosphorus occurs in minerals in the form of apatite. This fluoroapatite, which is the main component of phosphate rocks. Also, phosphorus is an essential constituent of animal and plant matter, and it is also present in bones as well as in living cells. Phosphoproteins are present in milk and eggs. And next we have arsenic, antimony, bismuth. So these are found mainly as sulfide minerals. So this is all about occurrence of group 15 elements. Now we will discuss atomic and physical properties of group 15 elements. Now first property of group 15 element is electronic configuration. The valence shell electronic configuration of these elements is ns2np3. The s orbital in these elements is completely filled and the p orbitals are half-filled, therefore making their electronic configuration extra stable. Because of presence of half-filled orbital, the electronic configuration is stable. Now next property is atomic and ionic radii. Now the general trend is when we move from nitrogen to phosphorus, phosphorus to arsenic, and then antimony and bismuth, so the atomic and ionic radii increases. However, when we move from nitrogen to phosphorus, the atomic radii increases from 70 to 110 picometer. But when we move from phosphorus to arsenic, and then when we move from arsenic to antimony, a small increase in the radius is observed. This is because of the presence of d and f orbital in heavier members. So what will happen when we move from nitrogen to phosphorus? Here addition of new shell takes place. That is, in nitrogen we have 2s2, 2p3. The outermost shell is n equals to 2. Now when we move to phosphorus, the addition of new shell, that is the electron added to n equals to 3. So addition of new shell increases the atomic radii. Now when we move to arsenic, here the outermost electron is in n equal to 4, and in antimony we have outermost electron in n equals to 5, and in bismuth we have outermost electron in n equal to 6. But when we move from arsenic to antimony, here we have d electron in arsenic as well as in antimony. But when we move from antimony to bismuth, we have f as well as d electron. So therefore the increase in radii is less in these elements. So the general trend is when we move from nitrogen to phosphorus and from phosphorus to arsenic, the atomic radii will increase, but the increase from arsenic to bismuth is less because of the presence of these d and f electrons. Now third property is ionization enthalpy. So when we move in group 15, the ionization enthalpy decreases from nitrogen to phosphorus and then from phosphorus to arsenic and to antimony and bismuth. Now the ionization enthalpy of group 14 elements are lower as compared to group 15 elements, because as we have discussed, the electronic configuration for group 15 element is ns2np3, and because of this half-filled p orbital, this configuration is more stable. Now if we compare the electronic configuration of group 14, it is ns2np2. So the removal of electron from a more stable configuration is difficult. That is why the ionization enthalpy of group 14 is less as compared to group 15. Now what is the reason that when we move in group 15 element down the group, ionization enthalpy decreases? And the reason is when we move down in a group, the atomic size increases, and therefore which reduces the force of attraction on the electron by the nucleus. That is, the force of attraction between the nucleus and the outermost shell decreases, and that is why the ionization enthalpy decreases when we move in a group. Now next property is electronegativity. Electronegativity is the tendency of an element to attract shared pair of electrons. Now when we compare the electronegativity of group 14 and group 15 elements, so due to smaller atomic size and smaller number of electrons needed to attain the noble gas configuration in group 15, and therefore the electronegativity of group 15 is more as compared to group 14. But when we move in group 15 elements, the electronegativity decreases down the group, and in lower elements the decrease is not significant. So if we compare the electronegativity in group 15, nitrogen is the most electronegative element. Now next we will discuss physical properties of group 15 elements. First physical property of group 15 element is metallic character. Now as we move down in the group, electronegativity decreases Therefore, first two elements, that is nitrogen and phosphorus of group 15, are non-metal. Arsenic, antimony metalloids, and bismuth is a typical metal. Now next is existence of group 15 elements. Nitrogen, it will exist in the form of gas, whereas the other elements of group 15, they will exist in the solid form. Now next, third property is melting point. So when we move in group 15 from nitrogen to arsenic, the melting point increases, but when we move from arsenic to bismuth, the melting point decreases, and the reason is due to inert pair effect. Now we will explain what is inert pair effect. So inert pair effect is defined as the reluctance of NH2 electrons to participate in the bond formation. That is known as inert pair effect. The electronic configuration for group 15 element is NH2-NP3. Now this inert pair effect is these NH2 electrons, they will not participate in the bond formation. So what will happen when we move from arsenic to antimony? The NH2 electron, they will not participate in the bond formation, and instead of 5 bonds, 3 bonds will be formed. Therefore, this results in the weakening the attraction among their atoms, thereby lowering the value of melting point. So due to inert pair effect, the melting point decreases from arsenic to antimony. Now next is boiling point. Now when we compare the boiling point in group 15, the trend is regular, that is the boiling point increases from nitrogen to phosphorus, and then from phosphorus to arsenic to antimony, and then to bismuth. And the reason is very simple, due to increase in atomic size, the boiling point increases. Next property is allotropy. So except nitrogen, all elements shows allotropy. For example, phosphorus, it exists in 3 forms, that is 3 allotropic forms of phosphorus exist, that is white phosphorus, red phosphorus, and black phosphorus. Similarly, we have allotropes of arsenic and antimony. So these are the physical properties. Now we will discuss the chemical properties of group 15 elements. Okay, so first chemical property is oxidation state. Now the electronic configuration of 15 group element is NH2-NP3, and the common oxidation states shown by group 15 elements are -3, +3, and +5. And the tendency to exhibit -3 oxidation state decreases down the group, because as we move down the group, the metallic character increases. Therefore, to gain 3 electrons in the lower elements is difficult. Therefore, -3 oxidation state is shown by the upper elements, that is nitrogen, it can accept 3 electrons to attain noble gas configuration, and it can show -3 oxidation state. Whereas the lower element, like for example bismuth, it hardly forms any compound in -3 oxidation state. Next is the stability of +5 oxidation state decreases down the group, and the reason for this is inert pair effect. Now, due to inert pair effect, as we know that the electronic configuration is NH2-NP3. So what happens in inert pair effect, these 2 electrons, they will not participate in the bond formation, and therefore only these 3 electrons which are present in p orbital, they will participate in the bond formation, and because of this, the lower elements, that is antimony and bismuth, they form compounds in +3 oxidation state. The compound of bismuth in +5 oxidation state is BiF5, which is known and stable compound. Otherwise, all the compounds of bismuth, they will found in +3 oxidation state. Nitrogen also show +1, +2, +4 oxidation state when nitrogen combines with oxygen. For example, in N2O, the oxidation number of nitrogen is +1, whereas in case of NO, it is also the oxide of nitrogen, the oxidation number of nitrogen is +2, and in NO2 the oxidation number of nitrogen is +4. Now, in case of nitrogen, all oxidation state from +1 to +4 tend to disproportionate in acid solution. For example, here we have nitrous acid in which the oxidation number of nitrogen is +3. So it will disproportionate into HNO3 where the oxidation number of nitrogen is +5 and NO, which is the oxide of nitrogen. So disproportionation reaction is the reaction in which the same element will undergo oxidation and the same element will undergo reduction. Here in this case, the nitrogen +3 to +5 is oxidation and +3 to +2 is reduction. Similarly, in the case of phosphorus, nearly all intermediate oxidation state disproportionate into +5 and -3 in alkali and acid. Here we have the oxoacid of phosphorus H3PO3 and the oxidation number of phosphorus is +3. On right hand side we have H3PO4. In this the oxidation number of phosphorus is +5 and in PH3 the oxidation number of phosphorus is -3. So here again disproportionation reaction takes place. The phosphorus changes its oxidation state from +3 to +5, which is the oxidation, and +3 to -3 is a reduction. Now when we discuss the case of arsenic, antimony and bismuth, so these elements are stable in +3 oxidation state, or we can say that in a compound if +3 oxidation state is there for these elements, then +3 is more stable. So if we have a compound in which the oxidation state of arsenic is +3, so that compound has less tendency to undergo disproportionation reaction, because in case of arsenic, antimony, bismuth, +3 oxidation state is more stable. Therefore, in these three cases, if the element is present in +3 oxidation state in a compound, so the tendency to undergo disproportionation reaction decreases. So this is all about oxidation state. Next we will discuss covalency. So covalency is defined as the maximum number of covalent bonds that an atom can form within a molecule. For example, if we discuss about the covalency of nitrogen in NH3, and the answer is that in case of NH3 the covalency is 3. That is, the covalency of nitrogen is 3 because nitrogen is making 3 bonds with these hydrogen and therefore the covalency is 3. And the maximum covalency which nitrogen can show is 4. When the nitrogen uses 2 electron present in the 2s orbital and 3 electron present in the 2p orbital, only then it can show maximum covalency, that is 4. Example is in case of ammonium cation the covalency of nitrogen is 4, whereas the other element exhibit 5 or 6 covalency. That is, phosphorus, arsenic, antimony, they can show 5 or more than 5. Example is in case of PF5, this phosphorus is forming 5 bonds and the covalency is 5. Here PF6 negative, in this case phosphorus is forming 6 bonds, so the covalency is 6. So how we can explain the covalency in these heavier elements, that why they exhibit 5 or 6 covalency? The answer is nitrogen does not contain any d orbital. Therefore, it cannot expand covalency beyond 4. Whereas in case of phosphorus and other elements, they have empty d orbital and therefore they can utilize their empty orbital for the, that is, these heavier elements, they can expand their covalency, or we can say that these elements, they can use their vacant orbitals for formation of bonds, and that is why they exhibit 5 or 6 valency. So the reason is nitrogen cannot show covalency beyond 4 due to absence of d orbital, whereas the other element shows covalency 5 or 6 due to the presence of vacant d orbital. Next is anomalous properties of nitrogen. So nitrogen differs from the rest of the members of this group due to its small size, because in group 15 Nitrogen has smallest size and it has high electronegativity. And there is no d orbital in nitrogen. Fourth is this nitrogen, it can form p-pi multiple bonds with itself and with other elements like carbon or oxygen. Next is this nitrogen, it exists as a diatomic molecule and the bond between nitrogen and nitrogen is triple bond. And this triple bond is very strong and it is very difficult to break this bond. That is, the bond enthalpy is very high and the value is 941.4 kilojoule per mole. Now, if we compare the stability of nitrogen-nitrogen single bond, then nitrogen-nitrogen single bond is weaker than phosphorus-phosphorus single bond. As a result, catenation is weaker in nitrogen. Now, what do you mean by catenation? Catenation is self-linking of atom, just as we have discussed in class 11 for carbon, that it shows maximum catenation power. Similarly, in case of group 15, phosphorus has higher catenation power as compared to nitrogen, because in case of nitrogen single bond nitrogen, the repulsion is more because of small size of nitrogen. That is why this nitrogen single bond is weaker as compared to phosphorus. That is why the catenation in case of nitrogen is less as compared to the other elements of this group. Next property of nitrogen is that it cannot form d-pi p-pi bonds as the heavier elements can. Example is R3p double bond O exists but R3n double bond O does not exist, because if we compare the covalency of phosphorus and nitrogen, so here the covalency of phosphorus is 5 and phosphorus can show covalency 5, but in case of nitrogen the maximum covalency is 4. But if we compare in this example, the nitrogen has 5 covalency, which is not possible. Therefore, this R3PO exists and this R3N double bond O does not exist. Now, first is reactivity with hydrogen. So, all the elements of group 15 form hydrides of EH3 type, that is NH3, PH3, ASH3, SBH3 and BiH3. Now, some of the property of these hydrides are following. First is stability or thermal stability order. Now, if we compare the thermal stability, then when we move in group 15, the thermal stability decreases down the group. That is, NH3 is most stable and BiH3 is least stable. And the reason is that when we move from nitrogen to bismuth, the MH bond strength decreases. That is, the bond between nitrogen and hydrogen is strong as compared to the bond between bismuth and hydrogen, because as we move from nitrogen to bismuth, the atomic size will increase. As we move from nitrogen to bismuth, the atomic size will increase. Therefore, the bond strength between nitrogen and hydrogen in case of NH3 is more, and whereas in case of Bi and H, means the bond between bismuth and hydrogen is weak due to large size difference in bismuth and hydrogen. Therefore, we can say that when we move from nitrogen to bismuth, the MH bond strength decreases, and that is why the stability of these hydrides decreases in this order. Next property is reducing character. So, if we compare the reducing character of these hydrides, so BiH3, it has most reducing character. Now, how we will define the reducing character in case of these hydrides? Reducing character means loss of hydrogen. So, as we know that the stability of these hydrides decreases when we move from nitrogen to bismuth, so we can say that the bond between M and H, that is the MH bond strength, decreases when we move from nitrogen to bismuth. So from here we can say that it is easy to remove the hydrogen from this BiH3, and that is why it has most reducing character. or the reducing character value is highest in case of BiH3. The reason is, as we move from NH3 to BiH3, thermal stability of hydride decreases and their tendency to liberate hydrogen increases. And the hydride which loses hydrogen easily, that will be the best reducing agent, or we can say the reducing character is more in that case. So here we have BiH3 in which the reducing character is more. That is, it is showing the maximum reducing character because of weak bond strength between Bi and H. Therefore, it is easy to remove hydrogen from BiH3, and that is why the reducing character is most in case of BiH3. Next property is basic nature. So all these hydrides, they will behave as Lewis base, and the basic strength decreases when we move from nitrogen to bismuth. And the reason is, this is the structure of the hydrides and this is the structure of ammonia, NH3. Now when we move from nitrogen to bismuth, the atomic size of the central atom increases, and in all these hydrides we have one lone pair of electron in central atom. So what will happen, as the size of the central atom increases, the lone pair of the electron occupies a larger volume, that is, this lone pair occupies a larger volume. Therefore, electron density on the central atom decreases. That is, when we move from nitrogen to bismuth, the electron density on the central atom, that is, here we have nitrogen, in case of this we have phosphorus, arsenic, antimony and bismuth. So the electron density on these central atom decreases, and therefore tendency to donate a pair of electron also decreases, because now electron density occupies larger volume and therefore electron density on the central atom decreases. That is why the basic strength decreases when we move from nitrogen to bismuth. So in these hydride, NH3 is the strongest Lewis base. Next is reactivity towards oxygen. So all these elements form two type of oxides, either E2O3 type or E2O5 type. Now oxides of E2O3 types of nitrogen and phosphorus, means the oxide of, that is, N2O3 or P2O3. This type of oxides of nitrogen and phosphorus are purely acidic, whereas for arsenic and antimony this type is amphoteric, and for bismuth E2O3 type of oxide is basic in nature. And this bismuth is a metal and the oxides of metal are basic in nature. Third is reactivity towards halogen. So the elements of group 15 react to form two series of halides, EX3 and EX5. Nitrogen does not form EX5 type because in EX5 the covalency is 5, and nitrogen, it cannot show covalency beyond 4. That is due to absence of d orbital, and therefore this nitrogen does not form EX type of halides. Next is EX5 type are more covalent than EX3. That is, pentahalides are more covalent than trihalides. And in case of nitrogen, the only halide NF3 is known to be stable. So group 15 element form two type of halide, EX3 and EX5, whereas EX5 is not known in case of nitrogen due to absence of d orbital, and the covalent character in pentahalides is more as compared to trihalides. Next is reactivity towards metal. So all these elements, that is group 15 elements, react with metals to form their binary compounds exhibiting -3 oxidation state. For example, in calcium nitride, the oxidation number of nitrogen is -3. Similarly, we have compounds of phosphorus, that is calcium phosphide, and this is the compound of sodium arsenide. Similarly, we have zinc antimonide and magnesium bismuthide. So these elements, they will react with metal and the oxidation number exhibit is -3. So these are the four properties. First is reactivity towards hydrogen, Then we have reactivity towards oxygen. Third is reactivity towards halogen, and fourth is reactivity towards metal. After doing this, you can solve NCERT exercise question number 1, 2, 3 and 9.